Thanks for staying with us. Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. The D-Man has been discussing the Obama no-show at the Paris protest on his syndicated radio program. He joins us now from Santa Barbara. So what is your take on this?
I would have thought he would have sent Sharpton over. Because, every time I see one of those parades where everybody's linked hands, Sharpton seems to know that drill, but we didn't even send him over. Like I said before, Billy, it's ironic to me that President Obama's approach to explaining terrorism to me is torturous. He won't use torture with the actual terrorists, but I got to hear them belabor these points and go around the Cape of Good Hope to not say who's actually doing it. I think Obama, quite frankly, didn't go because he thinks Charlie Hebdo is the slot receiver for the Green Bay Packers. And once again, he's gone past obstinate here on this issue. He's now officially creepy. I think the terrorists are trying harder because they're pissed off that he won't give them the credit they feel is their due. Once again, Obama, his most ardent devotees have now reached that point, even Josh Earnest, where they have to tell you that he's not malevolent in all these issues. He's just hapless. Imagine that, telling people, no, don't mistrust him. He's hapless.
Yeah,
he's off
and
the
I think
case.
that's it. I just think he doesn't care anymore about it. It's a pain for him. He's not going to get on the plane and fly over there for 8 hours and hang around with Merkel. I mean, he'd much rather stay in the White House and then go out and give people free college tuition, which we'll get to in a moment.
But that shoot up in Paris, Billy, that wasn't Islamic terror in much the same way the Des Bryant play wasn't a catch. Come on,
right.
Everybody knows what's happening here.
Now, there is the mayor of Rotterdam in Holland. His name is Ahmed Aboulateb. He's a Muslim from Morocco. He emigrated to the Netherlands when he was 15 years old. Here's what he said about the deal. Go.
Dat je zo tegen die vrijheid je kunt keren. Maar als je die vrijheid niet zit in hemelsnaam, pak je koffer en vertrek. Ja, en als je het hier niet ziet zitten, omdat je humoristen niet ziet zitten die een krantje maken, ja, mag ik het zo zeggen?
Yeah, I don't know. He said "f off" in Dutch, so he basically.
I didn't know "f off" in Dutch was the same bleep as we use here. I thought they used the Netherlands bleep.
No, there's a little accent on the bleep, but it's the same thing. And he's mad at his co-religionists, although he describes himself as a secular man.
Well, either my man's the most courageous cat in the world, or he got into the Netherlands hashish cabinet over there. I will say this. Over there, their mayor's saying that about terrorism. De Blasio says that same thing about the cops, for God's sakes. That sounds like a de Blasio speech about his own police force. And by the way, Billy, speaking of de Blasio, as we go out on the Boulder Fresher, or I should say the renamed Don't Be a Pinhead tour this year, I don't think we max out our merchandise opportunities. So I've come up with a new look, new sportswear, where we microwave the mayor's face right into the fabric. And this way you can perpetually keep your back turned on this jerk.
So do you want to put the script over that "Don't Be a Pinhead" and have him underneath it? Is that what we think about? Well,
I think we ought to call it "Don't Be a de Blasio."
I mean, boy, he's still in trouble over here, and he's given little ID cards to anybody who wants them, and the Al Qaeda guys are lined up about Broadway to get these things. I don't know whether you know that or not. They're free.
Listen, when Obamacare will break down is when they find out you might need an ID card to participate in that. That's when you'll see Roadrunner counts head off into the distance.
All right, Miller went to college. I went to college, and I paid, my dad, he paid my tuition. I paid my expenses, and I painted houses to do it and all of that. I was lucky to have a father who would even pay the tuition. But now the president kind of want to give some free tuition and low loans and all that. How do you see it?
Well, we're doing too much germ proofing with these kids. I mean, you can make it all the way through to your retirement ceremony inside the amniotic sac now. We might as well just start teaching classes on Twitter in 140 characters or less. At some point, these kids are going to graduate into the school of hard knocks, and I would hope at some point they know how they earn and they know how to pay off a debt. And doing everything for kids, I know that sounds like a great idea, but then they get dumped out at 30 and they're like the boy in the glass bubble. Nobody knows what to do.
Yeah, there's there has to be. There are opportunities in work study and low-cost loans, and but I do want as many, particularly poor children, to have educational as much. So I have to look at it.
Billy, this is the sort of thing that leads to Sandra Fluke at age 31 asking me to comp her diaphragm. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, at some
Sure.
point you got to pay your bills.
At some point, you have to pony up and earn your way. Dennis Miller, everybody. And the D-Man and I are kind of astounded at how quickly the new Don't Be a Pinhead shows are selling out. Tonight, we have 3 new dates. Friday, June 5th, State Theater, Cleveland, Ohio. Saturday, June 6th, Orpheum Theater, Memphis, Tennessee. Friday, August 14th, the Borgata Hotel in Atlantic City. We've been there before. It's always a blast.